Yo, what is up, guys? My name is Nicholas Earl, and welcome back to Earl Sports Bets. And tonight is UFC 256, Moreno versus Figueiredo. And this should be a fun card. We have 10 fights, I believe, tonight. Now, this card had a lot of different things before it came up with Figueiredo and Moreno. A while ago, it was supposed to be Nunez and Anderson. Then it was going to be Pierre Yan and Aljamain Sterling. Now we got Moreno and Figueiredo. Both these guys fought on the last pay-per-view with the Figueiredo-Perez card. Moreno knocked off Royval, and Figueiredo beat Perez. But this should be a fun card. Definitely some spots to make some money. So let's get right into the card. First fight on the slate, we have Peter Barrett taking on Chase Hooper, minus 305 for Hooper, run back of plus 245 for Barrett. And last fight out, Hooper did not look good. He tried to fancy himself a striker, which he is not. And Alex Anceres totally pieced him up on the feet. And Hooper just looks very green there. He is, I believe, 21 years old, one of the youngest fighters in the UFC. And he's going up against now Peter Barrett, which is definitely a step down in competition. He came on, he made his UFC debut against Youssef Zalal, which he didn't get finished, which was surprising. And then I believe then he fought Canceres as well, and he got finished. But I'm definitely not laying the minus 305 for Chase Hooper tonight. That is just not in my arsenal of bets for tonight. A couple of them I'm looking at is potentially, now I got to find prop bets. I'm going to be looking at a lot of different prop bets as well. And let's try to find it. Ooh. Holland, Souza, Barrett, and here we go, Barrett and Hooper. Fight to start round 2. I know that's minus 200. I don't hate that. I think we can at least get 5 minutes out of this fight. And then also we'll look for a Chase Hooper by submission is something I like at plus 105. I know it's not that great, but it's better than playing the minus 305. I can also see this be a decision at plus 350, which isn't bad. And then maybe a little sprinkle on Peter Barrett by knockout. But my pick for this fight is Chase Hooper. I'm not very confident on it. If he tries to keep it on the feet, he's not going to win this fight. But I definitely think he can get it done. He just has to take it to the mat and look to grind it out that way and try to get a submission. Next, we have Tecia Torres taking on Sam Hughes. Minus 650 for Tecia Torres, plus 475 for Sam Hughes. And Tecia Torres was supposed to fight Angela Hill, but ends up getting Sam Hughes after Hill tested positive for COVID. Let's get the prop bets up here because there's a couple there's at least one I like. And it's kind of the chalky one, minus 200. I don't know if I want to lay this at all, but I think Tecia Torres definitely wins a decision here and goes the distance, minus 275. So this will probably be a fight I stay off of just because I don't think this is a very good value fight. My pick for this is Tecia Torres by decision, minus 200, better than laying the minus 650. Torres is definitely a safe spot if you're looking to parlay here. Sam Hughes has only been fighting professionally for a year, so not something I want to back at all. So my pick is Tecia Torres by decision, probably 30-27 unanimous decision. Next, we get a really fun fight here. Billy Quarantino taking on Gavin Tucker, minus 175 for Quarantino, plus 150 for Tucker. And I think Quarantino is going to come out. He's going to win this fight straight up. I'm looking at the minus 175 here. I know it's a little chalky, but I'm okay laying the wood there. Billy Q, I think the only thing I think he has to really survive in this fight is the first round. I think Gavin Tucker will come out strong, but as the fight gets longer, Quarantino, I think, will take over the fight, and I think TKO is coming second or third round for Quarantino. If not, he wins a decision 29-28, taking the last 2 rounds against Gavin Tucker. I don't mind the under 2.5 here. I think Tucker can definitely get it done in the under if he does win, and I think Quarantino can absolutely do it too. So plus 165 for the under 2.5. is not a bad bet as well. I'm going to click on that. But I don't mind Quarantino here. Next, we have Renato Moicano taking on Rafael Fiziev. And this is probably the only fight that I saw that both of these fighters did not look really good on the scale, particularly. So that's basically a wash. I'm on Moicano for this fight. I think he can bring it to the ground and just try to dominate a grappling match here. He's fought the better competition, and I think he can come in here and get a win here against Fiziev. Not too much to go over here. Just I think Moicano is a nice dog pick, and that he can get the win here against Fiziev. The next fight is actually kind of an interesting one here. We have Daniel Pineda coming off his win against Herbert Burns, taking on Cub Swanson, who is one of these aging veterans that is just starting to fade. I have a feeling, I don't think he'll be cut with the 60 fighters here, but it's going to be one of his last fights against Pineda here. I think Pineda gets it done inside the distance. I'm going to definitely be laying the minus 164 tonight on Pineda. I think he wins this fight. Swanson, his cardio is not that great, and he's just aging. He's had injuries. He's just off of a year recovery of, I think he tore his ACL or something like that, or something along those lines, in like a grappling match. So Swanson, I don't think I think he's just faded. He's not going to show that really well tonight, and I think Pineda is definitely the play for this match, for this fight. Inside the distance, if you want to get a little bit more risky, but actually, I think that's a safe play too. Let's take a look at Pineda by Pineda inside the distance is the same here. Oliveira, Ferguson, Souza and Holland, Barrett and Hooper, Tucker and Quarantino, Cyril Gunn, Junior Dos Santos, Figueiredo and Moreno, Swanson here. Let's see. We're looking at Pineda inside the distance, inside the distance. Plus 110 for Pineda inside the distance. I really like that, actually. Getting a little bit of a plus tag for him, and I think that's just the way he finishes that's the way he wins his fights, is when he finishes them. So if you like Pineda, take the plus 110 of Pineda inside the distance, I think, and move on. Also, the minus 164, I don't hate it as well, because I think he can also win a decision here. Next, we have Junior Dos Santos taking on Cyril Gunn, minus 435 for Gunn. JDS is a plus 335. And I think just Cyril Gunn's going to be the faster, more mobile heavyweight here. I think he's going to piece him up on the feet. And he's just the bigger guy, has the height, has the reach, has the weight advantage. And I think he's going to just dominate and get a nice unanimous decision here. Definitely the over 1.5 is something I'm looking at here. I'm not looking to lay the minus 435. I'm looking at probably a decision prop here. Let me try to find Cyril Gunn and JDS here for props. There we go. I think definitely round 3 could be a nice one, or goes the distance is a plus 170. I don't hate that. Starts round 3 is a minus 110. I don't hate that either. That's basically the over. But I'm definitely going to be taking the over 1.5 rounds for Cyril Gunn and Junior Dos Santos. And probably I'm going to look for maybe a decision prop as well for Cyril Gunn, potentially by submission there. Oh, I can just do that. I didn't realize that. Cool. Next, we have Ronaldo Souza taking on Kevin Holland. And actually, this is going to be a really fun fight. Ronaldo Souza is the veteran in this fight. Kevin Holland's the up-and-comer. He's 4-0 this year. And honestly, I think this is where Kevin Holland gets exposed. I have Ronaldo Souza I'm going to be taking the minus 115. I don't mind that at all. I think he's going to be able to get some takedowns on Kevin Holland. He just has not that great of takedown defense, Holland. And I think he's going to be able to dominate on the ground. We saw what Darren Stewart did against Kevin Holland, and he's nowhere near as good of a grappler. So I think Souza definitely gets some takedowns here and is able to control the fight on the ground and probably win a decision, if I have to guess. Or maybe he can get a submission. Let's see what they have for submission props here. We have Souza by submission plus 200. I don't hate that at all. I think I can definitely see Souza submitting Kevin Holland. So this should be a fun fight. I have Souza by submission over Holland. Next, we get another fun fight here. This is going to be a BJJ dream here. And it is Verena Jandaroba taking on Mackenzie Dern. And honestly, this line kind of confuses me. Verena Jandaroba is, I still think, one of the most talented fighters in that division. Mackenzie Dern, these are the top two BJJ players in this division. So this is going to be a fun match. I think Jandaroba and Dern, this is going to be a good one. I think it's more of a 50-50 fight, though, rather than a minus 160 for Dern. That being said, I'm going to go and take the value on Verena Jandaroba in this fight. I think she can dominate on top. She can have one of those more of like a lay and pray type of win. I think this is going to go to a decision. But I think she can get some nice top control and try kind of dominate this fight on the ground. Mackenzie Dern, her striking is a little bit more, is a little bit better than Jandaroba. Both these fighters have no knockout victories, though, so I'm not worried about striking here. I'm just hoping we're not going to see 15 minutes of striking in this fight. My pick is Jandaroba by decision. I don't think either of these women are going to submit each other just because their BJJ is so good. So I think those are both going to neutralize, and we're not going to see a knockout. So I think a decision is what's coming tonight. So the over 2.5 at minus 150. I don't hate that either. So I think Jandaroba gets the win here by decision against Mackenzie Dern. Just gets some nice top control and gets the win there. Next is the co-main event of the evening. We have a fun one here. We have Charles Oliveira and Tony Ferguson coming here. Minus 155 for Ferguson, plus 135 for Charles Oliveira. And I think this is going to be an absolute banger tonight. Just for starters, I have Tony Ferguson winning this fight. I think his cardio is going to be a little bit better. I think Oliveira maybe has 3 to 5 minutes. The only real questions is what type of effect did that fight against Justin Gaethje really have on Ferguson. I think he's going to come back. He's going to make this into a dogfight, and I absolutely love Tony Ferguson at this spot. I think he can go the 3 rounds. I think he can take more damage than Oliveira can. I think Tony Ferguson comes out here and gets the win. I'm going to say inside the distance is a nice prop. Fighter inside the distance. Tony Ferguson plus 125 is definitely something I'm looking to take here. I think Tony Ferguson definitely wins this fight and gets back on the winning ways and beats Charles Oliveira. Which leads us to the main event of the evening. We have Brandon Moreno taking on Devieson Figueiredo, minus 315 for Figueiredo. Brandon Moreno plus 265. And I think this is definitely going to be an interesting fight. Fight starts round 3 at minus 130, starts round 4 at plus 125, starts round 5 at plus 160 is definitely interesting. What I'm looking at here is probably the round thing here, and I'm going to be looking at these 3 props right here. Figueiredo round 3, round 4, and round 5 at these massive odds here. I think he can get it past the first 2 rounds. I think Moreno is definitely durable enough to make it past the first 3 rounds to make this an interesting fight. We head into the championship fights. I still think Figueiredo wins this fight. I think inside the distance is definitely looking good. Moreno, I think he will one day have the belt around his waist, but it's just not going to be tonight. I think Figueiredo is just someone that is going to probably dominate this lightweight division for years to come. I think he might be able to clear it out one day and move on to maybe bantamweights or something along those lines. But Figueiredo is definitely the play for this fight. Um, even though I think Moreno has a nice shot, um, I think Figueiredo is the way to go here. So let's go over who I think are going to win the fights. For the first fight, Chase Hooper, Tisha Torres by decision, Hooper by submission, my guess, Tucker by TKO, Moicano by submission, maybe. Pineda inside the distance, Cyril Gone by uh, decision. I'm going to look at Ronaldo Souza by submission, Verena Janarova by decision, Tony Ferguson inside the distance. And then we are looking at Devieson Figueiredo inside the distance, round 3, 4, and 5 are what I'm looking at for that fight. But that is going to do it for this video. If this information was helpful to you guys in any way, feel free to hit that like button down below and hit that subscribe button, turn that red button, click on it and turn it gray. Turn on those post notifications so you guys are notified every single time we come out with a video here at Earl Sports Bets. We have plenty of content coming out these next few months. We have UFC right now. We have this week and next week for UFC. We have college basketball, college football, NFL. We have NBA starting in just 10 days. We're going to have WNBA, NHL, and MLB to come. So we have plenty of content coming out here from Earl Sports Bets. But that's going to do it for this video. I want to